Before Wednesday arrives, you need to understand what is about to shift dramatically in the cosmic atmosphere. Mercury is preparing to station retrograde, and when the planet of communication slows down and appears to reverse course, the mental landscape changes completely. Messages become unclear. Plans hit unexpected roadblocks. Old conversations resurface from nowhere. Technology glitches multiply. Travel delays increase. If you ignore this astronomical event, you may walk straight into 3 weeks of avoidable confusion, frustration, and miscommunication. But if you understand what is really happening here, you can move through this period with strategy instead of stress, with wisdom instead of worry. This is not about fear or superstition. This is about cosmic timing and mental preparation. Stay with me, because what I am about to share could save you weeks of unnecessary chaos. Mercury retrograde is not a cosmic curse designed to ruin your life. It is actually a correction cycle, a natural recalibration period that serves a very specific purpose in our mental and communicative evolution. When Mercury appears to move backward in its orbit, from our perspective here on Earth, our perception communication contracts and decision-making processes enter what I call review mode. You may already be feeling the early effects of this astronomical shift. Perhaps you have noticed delays in important conversations, misunderstandings with colleagues or friends, a general sense of mental fog or confusion. Maybe your phone has been acting up, your computer is running slower, or travel plans have hit unexpected snags. That is because the retrograde shadow period begins several days before the official station date. This is not random chaos attacking your life. This is cosmic recalibration happening for very specific reasons that we need to understand. Now let me explain what Mercury retrograde actually does to our daily experience and why this knowledge can transform how you navigate the next 3 weeks. Mercury in astrology governs communication in all its forms, travel, and movement technology, and electronic devices, contracts and agreements, and our logical mental processing abilities. During retrograde motion, these areas of life naturally slow down and turn inward. But here is what most people do not understand about this process. The purpose is reflection and review, not punishment or destruction. Retrogrades reveal what was rushed, overlooked, or fundamentally misunderstood in recent weeks or months. This is review energy, operating at a cosmic level, not some malevolent force trying to sabotage your plans. Think of Mercury retrograde like editing a book or revising a project. When you rush through writing without checking, your work errors accumulate. Miscommunications multiply. Important details get overlooked. The retrograde period forces a natural pause that allows these hidden issues to surface so they can be addressed and corrected. Without this review cycle, we would continue building on faulty foundations, making the same communication mistakes, repeating patterns that do not serve us. The retrograde acts like a cosmic quality control system, ensuring that our mental processes remain sharp and our communications stay clear and authentic. During this 3-week period, you might notice that conversations feel more emotionally charged than usual. Simple exchanges become complex negotiations. People seem more sensitive to perceived slights or misunderstandings. Text messages get misinterpreted. Emails disappear into digital black holes. Phone calls drop at crucial moments. These are not coincidences, but symptoms of Mercury slowing down its forward momentum. The mental atmosphere becomes thicker, more reflective, like walking through mental fog that requires extra attention and care to navigate successfully. But here is where it gets really interesting and why the next 3 weeks feel particularly intense from an energetic perspective. When Mercury stations, meaning when it comes to a complete stop before beginning its retrograde motion, it creates what astrologers call a pressure point in the mental field. Decisions feel heavier because they require more careful consideration. Conversations become emotionally charged because underlying issues rise to the surface, demanding attention. Old themes and unresolved matters reappear not to torment you, but to offer opportunities for closure and completion. You may hear from someone from your past during this period. An old friend might reach out unexpectedly. A former colleague could contact you about unfinished business. Past romantic connections sometimes resurface during Mercury retrograde cycles. This is not coincidence, but the retrograde energy drawing incomplete conversations and relationships back into conscious awareness so they can be properly resolved or renewed. The mind turns inward naturally during this time to reassess direction, priorities, and authentic desires versus what we think we should want. These retrograde periods often trigger what I call identity review phases, where you question recent decisions and commitments. You might find yourself reconsidering a career move, doubting a relationship choice, or feeling uncertain about plans that seemed perfectly clear just weeks ago. This internal questioning is not weakness or indecision, but cosmic intelligence guiding you toward greater alignment with your authentic path. The retrograde creates space for this essential self-reflection that gets lost in the rush of normal forward momentum. If you notice that retrogrades tend to trigger deeper identity shifts and internal questioning for you, this is exactly the kind of self-awareness explored in Awaken Your Potential and Change Your Reality. The book explains how the conscious, unconscious, and subconscious mind influence your reactions and decisions, especially during intense cycles like Mercury retrograde periods. Understanding these mental layers helps you navigate cosmic timing consciously instead of reactively. If you want to move through this retrograde with awareness instead of anxiety, the link is in the pinned comment. Now, let us continue with the most important part. The biggest mistake people make during Mercury retrograde is panic or impulsive action designed to escape temporary discomfort. When communication gets fuzzy and plans hit delays, the natural human response is to force clarity through aggressive action or hurried decisions. This approach backfires spectacularly during retrograde periods because the cosmic energy is specifically designed to slow down mental processing, not speed it up. Fighting against this natural rhythm creates more confusion, not less. Mercury retrograde is not the time to force clarity or push through resistance. It is the time to observe patterns without immediately trying to fix or change them. This observation period allows deeper understanding to emerge naturally. Signing major contracts without thorough review during retrograde often leads to overlooked details that cause problems later. Reacting emotionally during arguments or misunderstandings amplifies confusion because the mental atmosphere is already cloudy, and reactive responses add more fog to an already murky situation. Ignoring important details becomes particularly dangerous during Mercury retrograde because small oversights tend to snowball into larger problems. That contract clause you glossed over could become significant. That travel detail you assumed would work itself out might create major inconvenience. That conversation you avoided having could explode into a bigger conflict. The retrograde energy magnifies the consequences of mental laziness and communication shortcuts, making careful attention to detail absolutely essential. Another major mistake is assuming that all delays and complications during retrograde periods are negative disruptions to your plans. Sometimes Mercury retrograde delays save you from making premature decisions or entering situations that would not serve your highest good. That job interview that got postponed might lead to a better opportunity. That relationship conversation that keeps getting interrupted might need more internal preparation before it can be productive. The flight delay that seemed so inconvenient could prevent you from walking into an unfortunate situation. Learning to trust the timing of Mercury retrograde instead of fighting against it transforms your entire experience of these cycles. When you stop viewing delays as personal attacks and start seeing them as cosmic course corrections, you can navigate retrograde periods with grace and wisdom instead of frustration and resistance. This shift in perspective is absolutely crucial for making the most of these 3 weeks. So how do you move strategically through these 3 weeks instead of just surviving them? First, double-check all communications, especially important ones. Read emails twice before sending them. Confirm meeting times and locations. Follow up on crucial conversations to ensure your message was received and understood correctly. Back up important computer files and documents because technology failures increase during retrograde periods. Update your phone software and clear out digital clutter that might cause glitches. Read all contracts and agreements with extra care and attention. If possible, delay signing non-urgent legal documents until after the retrograde ends, unless you have thoroughly reviewed every detail multiple times. Small print becomes particularly important during these periods because overlooked clauses tend to create complications later. When in doubt, consult with experts or advisors, rather than making solo decisions about complex matters. Most importantly, learn to reflect before responding, especially in emotionally charged situations. The retrograde atmosphere amplifies reactive patterns, making it easy to say things you will regret later or make decisions based on temporary confusion rather than clear thinking. Taking time to process information and emotions before acting becomes absolutely essential. That 24-hour rule for important emails becomes even more crucial during Mercury retrograde periods. Create extra buffer time for travel and transportation because delays and complications multiply during these cycles. Leave earlier for appointments. Have backup plans for important meetings. Keep emergency contact information easily accessible because communication devices may fail when you need them most. Patience becomes your greatest asset during Mercury retrograde, not just for dealing with other people, but for managing your own expectations and reactions. Practice what I call retrograde mindfulness, which means paying extra attention to the present moment, instead of getting lost in mental loops about past mistakes or future concerns. The retrograde energy can amplify rumination and worry cycles, so staying grounded in present moment awareness becomes particularly important. Meditation, breathing exercises, and other mindfulness practices provide stability during the mental turbulence that retrograde periods often bring. But here is what you gain if you use Mercury retrograde correctly instead of just enduring it. When the retrograde period ends and Mercury begins moving forward again, mental clarity returns, but only if genuine reflection and review happen during the retrograde phase. These 3 weeks can reveal hidden misunderstandings that were undermining your relationships, unresolved emotional patterns that were creating repetitive problems, and outdated plans or commitments that no longer serve your authentic growth. Used correctly, Mercury retrograde becomes a mental upgrade period that refines your direction and purifies your communication patterns. Old grudges get resolved, miscommunications get clarified, technology gets updated and improved. Travel plans get reorganized more efficiently, contracts get rewritten with better terms. Relationships either deepen through honest communication or end cleanly through mutual understanding rather than explosive conflict. The retrograde period also offers valuable insight into your own mental and communication patterns. You might notice that you tend to assume others understand your intentions without clear explanation. You could discover that you avoid difficult conversations until they become urgent problems. You may realize that you make important decisions too quickly without adequate reflection time. These self-awareness insights prove invaluable for improving your communication skills long-term. Many people find that Mercury retrograde periods trigger significant creative breakthroughs because the inward-turning energy activates intuitive and imaginative faculties that get overshadowed during busy forward momentum phases. Writers overcome creative blocks. Artists find new inspiration in old themes. Musicians rediscover forgotten melodies that become the foundation for new compositions. The retrograde energy supports creative revision and artistic refinement in powerful ways. Some of the most important conversations and connections of your life can happen during Mercury retrograde periods because the energy supports depth over superficiality, authentic communication over polite small talk, and genuine connection over social performance. When the mental atmosphere slows down, space opens for meaningful exchanges that get lost in the rush of normal daily life. Relationships that survive, Mercury retrograde periods often emerge stronger and more authentic than before. The 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde can also provide valuable rest for your mental faculties, which work overtime during normal forward momentum periods. Your mind gets permission to slow down, review recent experiences, and integrate new learning without the pressure to constantly produce new ideas or make fresh decisions. This mental rest period supports long-term cognitive health and prevents burnout from chronic mental overstimulation. Retrogrades are not chaotic disruptions, but cosmic editing phases designed to improve the quality of our mental and communicative experiences. Instead of fearing the next 3 weeks, approach them with maturity and wisdom. Slow down your mental processing. Reconsider recent decisions from a place of calm reflection rather than anxious second-guessing. Reorganize your priorities based on what you have learned about yourself and your authentic desires during the review period. When Mercury moves direct again in 3 weeks, you will feel lighter and clearer, but only if you chose awareness over reaction during the retrograde phase. You will have resolved lingering communication issues, cleaned up technological problems, and gained valuable insights into your own mental patterns. Your relationships will be more authentic, your plans will be more realistic, and your communication skills will be sharper and more effective. Trust the cosmic timing of this retrograde period instead of fighting against it. The universe has built-in review cycles for good reasons. Without periodic reflection and recalibration, we would continue making the same mistakes, repeating ineffective patterns, and building our lives on unstable foundations. Mercury retrograde provides the necessary pause that allows course correction and quality improvement in all areas governed by Mercury. Remember that every successful project, every lasting relationship, and every meaningful achievement requires periodic review and adjustment. Mercury retrograde provides this essential function at a cosmic level, ensuring that our mental and communicative evolution continues in healthy, sustainable ways. The next 3 weeks offer an opportunity for conscious participation in this natural process of growth and refinement. If this message helped you see retrograde energy differently and understand how to navigate these cosmic cycles with wisdom instead of worry, do not stop at awareness alone. Awaken your potential and change. Your reality was created specifically to help you understand how your mind shapes your experience, especially during cycles of pressure, uncertainty, and internal review like Mercury retrograde periods. Inside, you will explore purpose alignment techniques that help you make decisions from authentic desires rather than external expectations. The book also covers subconscious reprogramming methods that transform automatic reactive patterns into conscious, responsive choices. You will learn emotional intelligence skills that allow you to navigate charged conversations and misunderstandings with grace and wisdom. The meditation practices included help you stay grounded and centered during mentally turbulent periods like retrograde cycles. All of this is integrated with insights from psychology, neuroscience, spirituality, philosophy, and quantum principles. Awaken Your Potential and Change Your Reality includes the complete digital book, the full audiobook version, and a guided 5-minute meditation practice designed to support conscious awareness during challenging cycles. It is available now for a limited time price and protected by a 7-day money-back guarantee. If you feel ready to respond to life consciously instead of reactively, especially during intense periods like Mercury retrograde, the link is in the pinned comment. Clarity is not found in speed, but in awareness. The next 3 weeks invite you to slow down, reflect deeply, and emerge with greater wisdom and more authentic direction. Use this cosmic gift wisely and watch how it transforms not just these 3 weeks, but your entire approach to mental processing and communication moving forward. Thank you for watching, and remember that every cosmic cycle offers opportunities for growth when approached with consciousness and wisdom.